Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome into another edition of the Right Side of Campus. It is Tuesday, November 12th, 2019. I am the big man on campus. Hope you're having a great day. We start a new week officially today. College football week 12, NFL week 11 coming at you here this week. We got some action tonight, college hoops, and all sorts of stuff along the way as well. Donnie, Rightside, how you doing?
Yeah, doing good, man. Enjoyed that game immensely last night. Picked up a nice, easy victory when it looks like starting out the football game. I was like, man, it looks like I'm going to be in some trouble, but play hit easy last night. It was nice. Actually, I was doing some capping this morning, Jeff, and I came across one game, which is kind of interesting in some statistics. I love it. Tuesdays are fun for me. It takes at least, I don't know, Jeff, like 2 to 3 hours just to write down the statistics that I like to look at. So I'm right in the midst of that, having fun. It's Tuesday. We get after it, man.
Yep, plenty to do today. We got some headlines to get to. We'll relive the game last night and, get to some stories along the way. I do want to start, Donnie. We've talked about this on this show before, but I really just wanted to kind of exemplify just how smart and, cunning and fraudulent this guy was. So I've been watching I watch it occasionally. I don't watch it a lot, but I was watching that American Greed show.
Yeah.
And they did one on that Firefest guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And dude, if you know anything about that guy, he was such a fucking scam artist, dude. That story doesn't get as much publicity as it should have. That guy was like a mastermind at frauding people.
Yeah.
At least Bernie Madoff had success at he created the NASDAQ and shit, and he actually had a reputable personality. This dude was just some young dude that dude, that's still the craziest story I've ever heard, that Firefest thing.
Yeah, this dude, he probably went down as the single best tout of all time if he got into that business, man.
Yeah, and people were talking about how what he'll do when he's free, and he's got to go back to that, right?
Oh, no, once you do that, I mean, if there's an angle to make money and you can just abuse people, they will do it every single time. I mean, you saw the original one when they were showing the documentary where he was going to jail and he's setting up his next fraud scheme already and doing it.
So great.
Yeah.
That was literally wild.
Yep.
He was a fucking wild dude, the shit he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, crazy guy, that guy. Thanks, everybody, for watching the show. Please hit the retweet button on Twitter if you're out there. Always hit the like button and support the channel here. All right, let's get into the show here. We'll start out with some morning headlines here, as we always do on the show. Don Cherry is in the news. Don Cherry, who I wasn't real familiar with until this story. I guess I've seen this guy before. He's that guy that occasionally you see wears the crazy,
Mm-hmm.
colorful suits and shit like that. He's a hockey guy. He's the crazy thing is he never really did anything in the professional level. I'm reading his biography. He had a long career in the AHL,
Mm-hmm.
but he only played one game in the NHL.
Yeah, I think he coached 6 years in the NHL, I think.
Yeah, he did. He ended up becoming a Stanley Cup winner twice, I want to say. So yeah, I mean, he definitely had some kind of coach career, but he's under fire, Donnie. He was fired by Canadian TV channel,
Sportsnet.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
He was fired after stirring controversy with some on-air comments about immigration. These are his comments, Donnie. Mm-hmm. I live in Mississauga, Ontario. Very few people here wear a poppy. Now, a poppy is basically referring to a pin that you would wear to symbolize you support veterans and you're thankful for what they've done. This is what he said. Downtown Toronto. Should I read it in a Canadian accent, Donnie, or no?
Yeah, do it. You do it in the French-Canadian accent.
I'm not sure I can do that, but I can do a Canadian accent. Downtown Toronto, forget about it. Nobody wears the poppy. That's kind of Boston.
Yeah,
actually.
it's a little Boston.
Right, let me just do it regularly.
Yeah,
Downtown Toronto, forget it. Nobody wears the poppy. Now you go to small cities. You people that come here, whatever it is, you love our way of life. You love our milk and honey. At least you could pay a couple bucks for a poppy or something like that. He also added saying, these guys paid for your way of life that you enjoy in Canada. These guys paid the biggest price for that. listen, Donnie. Don Cherry could have said this and just not included like the you guys thing. Like just like if you would have just said, "Hey, you guys need to be more thankful of veterans and like what they do for us." I will say on one aspect, like if he's an older guy, I don't think you're ever going to change the guy. I mean, Donnie, this guy
He's
played
85.
Like,
he's 85.
yeah, he played in like the 50s. Like,
yeah, he's 85. Yeah.
I've talked like constantly about my own grandfather, Donnie. Like, I remember when I was a kid, he would do things that regular people don't do. But I told him, I said, "Yo, Grandpa, like you can't be saying that in like real like public life." Like I remember, Donnie, this is a true story. I remember my grandpa when I was a kid would count how many white players were on Penn State's football team.
Sure.
And he said, "Wow, there are 3 players that are white, like," and that's what he would do. But do you have a problem with what Don Cherry said?
It's hard because that's his generation that grew up, and it's like things. Even if you can equate it to like today, Jeff. Like I know how we go down to Eagles games now, and what do we say? Like this crowd sucks, man.
Yeah,
I remember back in like 1988 when people get the shit kicked out of them and beer poured on them. Boy, those were fun days. That's not acceptable today anymore, and that's the whole point of it. And he didn't have to include. You knew what he was actually trying to say. Basically saying, you people that immigrate here, you know nothing about Canada. You take us for granted. People died so you guys can live this life and you're not showing your respect. But it's not the like people don't really wear poppies, and he's you can see where he's going, like downtown Toronto, a big international city. Nobody cares about this. It's not to say they don't. It's just times change where maybe in the 60s you wore the poppies and then it sort of goes out. All you had to do was say, younger generation, please respect the guys that came before you and set it up. That's all.
He made it a point to say, like, you people that come here.
So he's basically saying, like, if you're a Muslim, if you're from wherever, we're Canadians. You better respect us, you people. You can't,
which I got to be honest, like, you can't say that ever. I don't care about what, like, situation we're in now. You can't just, like, divisively pick a group of people and say, we don't want you here and you don't respect anything we do. If he would have just said, because what we all know he meant, Donnie, was, and he probably thinks this as well, I think he's probably a racist. He doesn't want other immigrants and stuff in his country. I definitely probably agree with that.
Sure.
He probably should have just said, like, hey, like you said, the younger people, because that's really who this situation would apply to.
Because like every year it gets farther and farther away. Those guys who fought in those great wars are dying off. And he's basically saying, you guys don't show any appreciation. But he took it a little bit far by saying, when I go here, when I go there in my town and you know what I mean? You come here is where he messed up. If he leaves that out of it and just says, the younger generation, a bunch of, knuckleheads or whatever, nobody would have cared. But when he brought that in, that's where he erred.
Yeah, he also made a point to say, Donnie, that he basically is not going to change the way he is for a job, which I can obviously respect. I mean, he basically said, to keep my job, I cannot be turned into a tamed robot. Donnie, again, though, I'm not sure how this relates to your job, though. Like, what aren't you one to talk hockey? Like, why are you constantly talking about like?
The reason why he was so popular is because he would fly off on like different topics out of nowhere. Like it'd be like John Madden, who always did it in fun. Turducken and this and that. Well, Don Cherry would just pop off and tell you a story that's a little bit off color, and that's why he popped and was so popular. But in this day and age, you can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's time for Don to move on anyway. I mean, from what I understand, if you talk to people that are from Canada, they'll probably tell you the same thing. Like, he's too old. He shouldn't be on the fucking. He's like one of those people you're worried about what he's going to say because he's like old. And,
yeah.
I mean,
Lou Holtz back in the day, I remember when he was on ESPN, his comment the one thing was like somebody was asking about a head coach, like, yeah, well, Hitler was a really good leader too. And, Lou Holtz sort of moved on after that.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely heard people say that. I think, Donnie, there's always like some kind of random radical like support of something. Like,
social media is the worst. Like, we're gonna boycott watching hockey, knowing damn well you Canadians ain't boycotting shit. If you
right, but like I've heard people make the generalization, Donnie, of like, if we're talking about like ISIS, right?
Mm-hmm.
We as Americans hate ISIS, right? Yeah. They hate us the way we hate them.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they take it into a more like macabre, like genocidal way of doing what they want to do. So like, I think if like there was an ISIS member outside of my door right now, most Americans would mutilate that human being. They do it, and it's like, oh, well, they're like terrorists, but it's like there are people that try to support the idea and say, well, we hate them like they hate us, blah, 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 blah. Or Hitler was a good leader because they'll try to support it and say, well, if you look at what he was able to do, he was able to like brainwash people into this Third Reich like sort of thing. And it's almost like the same argument, Donnie, if like with criminals, like if you say like, oh, if that criminal would have just did something good, he'd have been like, you know, a CEO or something. Like Billy McFarland. If Billy McFarland would have created a real company with real ownership and real stakeholders and stuff like that, you know, I don't know. It's kind of, there's always some kind of argument for something, Donnie. Twitter, it's always there. You could say the most factual thing and someone will try to bait, well, no, if you do this, you know, it's irritating for sure.
What, like if David Johnson takes a handoff, walks 5 steps, gets tackled for a 3-yard loss, what was he supposed to do? I don't know.
Did you like, watch this step? Yeah, it's always like, that's why Twitter, like, I honestly want to say this publicly right now because we have people in here listening and most of you are like supporters of mine. Like when I'm on Twitter tweeting stuff, I don't care about your opinion. Like I don't. Like I'm not, but I'm not on there for your like, you like what I say or don't like what I say. Like if I say, Donnie, like last night I said Garoppolo was terrible, some of his throws. Because they were horrible.
Yes, they were.
I said it and the guy goes, it hit him in the hands. He's got to catch that. Well, I mean, I can touch the net of a basketball hoop.
And I know exactly when you're talking about. It was the crossing pattern where the guy was wide open. He threw it a little bit high, got deflected, and Diggs intercepted it, ran it back. My first instinct is like, what a terrible throw. But then you will get if it hit you, my favorite one, Jeff, as a wide receiver, if it hits your hands, you got to catch it.
Yeah, that's false, I hate it. It's so bad.
If it touches your finger, you should have caught it.
Right.
How about you hit him in the numbers, pal?
Because no football player has bigger hands than all of us and can reach farther and do all that kind of thing. You can't be a fucking contortionist, Donnie. Fuck, man. Some of these people, I mean, the opinions are so fucking bad.
Or how about this one, Jeff? Which it's the sarcasm needs a font on Twitter. So you know me, I like to do. Hey, Trubisky better than Garoppolo. You can't be serious with that, can you? Come on, man.
No, it's just like common sense. A lot of the time, it's just like the other day with like the 2.5 thing with the Browns. Like no one bet 2.5 minus 110 unless you bet it early in the week.
Yeah.
I have guys, I bet 2.5 minus 120 earlier. Well, you didn't bet 110 then, dude. What do you not get about that? Like some of these people, it's amazing.
Jeff, you know what our next business was like? I hate. I'm going to share it because we like the chat box. So I'll share it with them. If we're going to make a new Twitter, but you can write in sarcasm, we'd be billionaires, Jeff. Why haven't we done it yet?
Oh, yeah. Yep. The satire and sarcasm people that don't understand it. It's like I could say like the other night, Donnie, I tweeted out that Jason Brown, the Last Chance U coach, the guy that like
I saw that too. So it's funny you tweeted that out too because I'm sitting back going, there's no way in hell this dude that basically got canned from a TV show is going to be a major Division I college coach. And I can imagine your mentions on that.
No, I basically said breaking news.
Yeah, like you had
Brown
inside info or something.
Will be the next coach at Arkansas. And I also commented on top of it and said he will change the culture of slapdicks at Arkansas. And it's like I had like 7-10 people in my DM. Dude, what the fuck? Where'd you hear that at?
Oh my God, Jeff, that's awesome.
I'm a fucking booster and I didn't hear that. I'm kidding. It's not true. Obviously, he's not the coach of a fucking major D1.
What are you, incarcerated, Bob, Jeff? You just throw stuff out there and hope it hits?
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. Don't mention his name, Donnie. He'll put you in tweets.
No, hope not.
This is going to get back to him. That's what you just said.
Uh-oh.
By the way, speaking of older guys that are kind of sharp still, he gets a lot of shit, but I think Lee Corso is still a pretty smart dude for his age.
He is more of a caricature at this point, but good
dude,
for him.
He's 84, and
that's what I'm saying.
He's still pretty sharp.
All his faculties aren't there, but I love the fact that they still run him out there because he's just an institution. I love it. I do like.
I find him to be like funny. Like I think his Donnie when he puts the head on,
it's
goes
great. It's one of the best. That's one of the best things in football. With the little wave. Yeah,
it's funny. But yeah, I just had a laugh every time I see him.
Yep.
All right, Donnie. Next story. Quickly mention this. I'm not going to mention it for like the fact that most of the people in the chat were wrong about this, but Tony Parker's Donnie's jersey was retired last night. Definitely a great player. I mean, one of the great European players that we've seen. I've continued to say this. I'll take a European player over any player any day of the week. They're just seemingly IQs are better at basketball than others. So Donnie, I was thinking like, who are the best just off the top of your head, European players you ever seen? Because when we were young, like when you were young and I was younger, people forget, Donnie, like Arvydas Sabonis might have been the best passer as a big man I've ever seen.
Yeah, it came over late too. It's a shame we actually saw him when he was still very good, but with no knees. Can only imagine like when he was a younger player how good he could have been. Tony Kukoc back in the day coming over.
Vlade.
Mm-hmm. Vlade coming over, also the Petrovic.
And obviously Donnie Drazen.
Yeah. No, there was some really good European players back then. And that's before basketball like exploded across the world, and those guys were still getting it in.
I would say this till I'm blue in the face. Drazen Petrovic was the best shooter ever.
I don't know. I mean, you can't really prove it, but
why can't I?
Wow,
did you ever see him shoot?
Enough. Yes, of course I did. I was alive when he was there. I watched him play.
Yeah, but in his time in the league, he was the best shooter.
He was good. He's a good player. Yeah.
Reggie Miller also said it. Reggie Miller says he's the best shooter he's ever seen.
Yeah.
Pau Gasol, that's a good one. Sure. Remember Pau? Obviously the greatest, Dirk Nowitzki.
Yep.
Dirk, a terrific player, really kind of transformed the position, Donnie, of being a big.
Yeah,
Peja Stojakovic.
Yeah, shot an air ball in the biggest shot of his career.
Donnie, who made one of the dumbest comments ever the other night, saying Nikola Jokic blows. Like, what?
No, he does. No, you didn't get it. No, you didn't. Nikola Jokic, by the way, is a disgrace to his employment, to the fan base, and to his own
he's better than everybody else.
He is a tub of lard, and he looks
and he's still better than everybody in the league.
And he would dominate if he actually was dedicated to his craft. How much better? I cannot believe if I'm the Denver Nuggets ownership, he showed up, I'd suspend him until after Christmas.
And he still dominated the Sixers and beat them single-handedly.
He is a disgrace to the sport.
But he's still better than everybody else.
Exactly, and look how good he could have been. Imagine
he was an MVP candidate.
Imagine showing, exactly. And then he shows up to camp like 70 pounds overweight. That is disgraceful.
First of all, he's not 70 pounds overweight. Listen, I've commented. I think he's a little out of shape. Sure, Donnie. You know what they say in Serbia, Balkans? Too much Gibanica for Nikola Jokic.
I don't know what he was doing.
Too much Gibanica. Sonny Vega knows what Gibanica is. Too much flour pastries, Donnie, for the big guy. Hey, one other one, Donnie. This is a good one, actually. I actually heard this guy. He's a DJ. He's a big DJ, actually, in the EDM community. Ronnie Cycli.
Oh, he is? Is he an EDM? I like
the big
Ronnie
DJ.
Cycli,
very good.
He was cool, man. Back in the day, those Syracuse days, man, he was a cool dude, man.
Yeah, I remember he always played for the he played for the Heat. Remember when they had those like red uniforms?
Yeah, of course, yes, man. Cycli. Yeah. I love him, Derek Coleman, on that team that lost to Indiana in the finals back in 87, I guess it was. That was an awesome team. They were so much fun.
He's got this now. Donnie, DJs have podcasts that they have, like their mixing podcasts. Yep. He has this radio. It's called Sugar Free Radio. It's really good. It's like really like a deep house, but it's really good.
That's great, man. He's a DJ.
Yeah. He's terrific. Like he's really good. Like to the level of like worldwide. Here's a good one for you, Don. Here's a trivia question. What nationality is Ronnie Cycli?
I'm going to say Greece, right? He's Greek? No? Damn it.
He's from Lebanon.
Ah, how about that?
Beirut, Lebanon.
Yeah, about that.
I think he was the first Lebanese player to ever play in the NBA. Now, keep in mind that you were close, though. He moved to Greece when he was a young child.
Yeah, see, I thought he had a Greek connection. Yeah,
yeah.
Boeheim going out and getting that guy.
Yeah, that was when he could still recruit. That's when he was getting like international.
Derek Coleman, yeah, he's getting legitimate players. Pearl Washington, yeah, come on, legit.
Sure. All right, one more story, Donnie. This is a weird story, and this is kind of like I wanted to talk about this because I wanted to talk about it. Yesterday was Veterans Day, as we know. Shout out to all the veterans that are actively and retired.
Shout out to people too, Jeff, that are that do this. I know you're like this.
Yeah.
Veterans, reach out to me. I'll give you 20% off a package. Oh God.
People really do that?
Yes. Oh,
I actually had a kid that reached out to me about that, and I didn't even think about it. And I said, "Yeah, sure, man. Like,
you're not soliciting it, though."
No, of course.
Yes, that's what I love.
Actually, forgot about it. To be honest, I always sometimes just don't think about stuff. But yeah, I'm a big military guy. I got the West Point shirt on. Look, I got the Army West Point shirt on. All right, Donnie, Clippers mascot gave a 104-year-old Normandy veteran. Now, keep in mind, this was a moment basically to honor this guy who is old. I mean, he's one of the last veterans of Normandy. I'm sure in the country.
Now this is the actual mascot, not the. Did you ever see the Clippers fan, the black guy what's it, Clipper Darrell?
No,
it's not Clipper. It's the actual mascot.
It's like a true mascot.
Okay,
Chuck the Condor. Whatever that is. He gave the older guy a wet willy during his remembering. Like he's standing there, like going like this. Like, by the way, dude, mascots need to go away. Like they need to be banned. Like we don't need mascots. They're stupid and lame.
I like corny. I actually like Gritty. Gritty grew on us, Jeff.
Listen, most mascots freak kids out anyway.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Cut rid of mascots. Cut rid of like mascots and like this stupid like harmonious fan base crap. Like I hate it.
Just bring in more cheerleaders. That's all we need, man.
Yeah, like no, it's cool. Like you want to do like the Sixers, they do the trampoline dunking and shit like that.
I like that.
Like, that's awesome. Yeah. Like even like cannons. Like
give me a nice drum line. Yeah,
sure. Yeah. Drum line, shooting the shirts out of the cannon, but like even like a pep band. You want to do a pep band, Eagles pep band or something. But like we don't need mascots. Like half of them don't even make like why is a condor?
Yeah, see, no, those ones are dumb where it has no bearing on like the team. You just make some random thing up. Like why isn't it just like a boat? Like why aren't the Clippers mascot a boat that runs around?
Yeah, I don't know what a Clipper is to be
It's
wrong.
a ship.
Okay, is it?
Yeah, which is dumb, but
yeah, maybe like listen, and mascots need to go away. So I'm done with mascots.
It's got to be the two like you play like LA. Got to have the worst, right? The Clippers and the Lakers. Are you kidding me with this?
What's a lake?
Yeah, exactly. It comes from Minneapolis. It's a lake. The Lakers are actual.
Yes, they're from Minneapolis.
Yep.
Yeah,
they are a lake. Your favorite team is a lake.
Yeah.
Where's that mascot at?
Now, Donnie, someone asked me last night on Periscope. It was actually a good question. Yeah. What's the worst college like name for a team?
I mean, the Blue Hose is really bad, but it's cool.
Yeah,
like, what the hell is like? Can you imagine that? Like, hey, we're the Blue Hose. Like, wait a second. You got to explain this to me. There's no reason for that.
Well, a Blue Hose, Donnie, is it's something to do with like a woman's dressing, I believe. Like way that
pantyhose.
Yeah, as far as I know,
but that's just all. There's no reason for that, right? Come on.
The nickname Blue Hose began in the early 1900s. It had to do with athletic stockings known as blue stockings. They were called Blue Hose.
I mean, that's like, come on, maybe in the 40s. You change that by like the 60s and turn yourself into like the Comets or something. Come on, man.
Blue Hose has survived all these years, taking even more meaning. Today, the name signifies fierce Scottish warriors.
I'll tell you a shame one that went away, and we're so PC today. The Washington Bullets that is awesome. And they literally changed it like the worst, the Wizards. Are you kidding me? You couldn't have had like the fan base.
The Wizards is definitely
cool?
a lame
That's
name.
Terrible. The Wizards.
The Mississippi Valley State's got a weird. The Delta Devils.
That's all right though.
What is that?
The Delta Plains, I guess, or the Devils of the Plains. I don't mind that.
Delta Devil. I guess it's kind of like the New Jersey Devil. It's
like
one of those,
there you go. Yeah.
Mythical figures or something. Mm-hmm. The Portland Pilots. The Pilots.
Yeah, come on, man. Seattle Pilots back in the day. There are some whack names, man. Some are cool, but some are just corny.
Yeah. The Big Green or whatever. Dartmouth.
Yeah, yes. Dartmouth.
Yeah, there's some weird ones.
Hey, let's go. Who are you guys? We're the Wave. Like Tulane. The Tulane's got a pretty cool.
Love their jerseys, dude.
Yeah, no, they got a pretty cool moniker there. I like that stuff.
The Pepperdine Waves you're thinking of.
That was the Tulane Green Wave.
Okay. Yeah. Detroit Mercy, the Titans. I like that.
That's all right. Ain't that bad.
I don't mind that. All right, let's move on to some sports, Donnie. The game last night, a lot of things were going on in this one.
Loved it.
I think the big obvious issue was Jimmy Garoppolo is a liability at this point. And
he's not a liability. There were some extenuating circumstances in that game, but he's not a liability.
You at one point said Mitchell Trubisky's better, but he's not a liability.
See, now you should have read the Twitter strategy, or excuse me, the sarcasm button.
It's the truth of the matter is, if he played better last night, they win. It's very simple.
Oh, no, you're right about that. Now, also, if he'd have, Kittle didn't play in the game, so we can't say like
injuries. I don't.
Emmanuel Sanders did go out, and by the way, I got to give you. You said it.
He was overthrowing people before the injuries.
So he wasn't good there. He's not a liability, but he wasn't good last night. But I have to tell you, Like, I know you beat the Pete Carroll drum. Watch that first quarter and see how – I'm saying to myself in the back, because, again, I had a team total in Seattle. I'm like, holy shit, man, San Francisco is going to run this team out of the building. Can you imagine the coaching staff that just comes together and like, make a couple changes here. Let's start balling out and do that. How many teams, Jeff, get run over in the first quarter like that, and that game ends what? 37-3. God damn.
I'll continue to say it. Man. He's the best coach in the league. Like, I know people like –
did you remember, like, overtime, Jeff? They flipped the coin, sent Geno Smith out there. He's having, like, a party on the side. Like, the dude has no fear out there. Just like, let's just get after it.
Listen, man,
he's annoying, but he's good.
He's unbelievable, man. And look, imagine being Russell Wilson. The guy's the luckiest guy on earth. Like, some of the shit he does is just.
Is it luck anymore though? Like, I say the same thing every time, but the dude just I don't know.
Donnie, if anybody else gets a turnover like the Niners did, you lose. They just happen to have some lame. Again, Donnie, can we go away with kicking? I mean, seriously.
Yes, I told you that.
Can we please get away with it? You play a whole game, and it comes down to some fucking guy who's not going to have a job next week. It's
he missed it so bad. Like, it's not even, like, I could see, like, you missed the kick. It's a little short, or you hit the upright.
There was no chance he'd make it.
This dude put it into the tunnel, man, to the left.
Yeah. I mean, even, like, the two morons on the call, like, they're talking about how it's his first, like, and you knew he was going to miss. I didn't think he'd miss that bad, but.
And then we wouldn't be worried. We'd be talking about, Russ can't have that interception, and this team won or not. It's amazing how the narrative changes because a kicker misses a kick and another one makes one.
To me, Donnie, if I'm looking at what the Niners are, I think their issue will be the quarterback. I do. I don't know if he's ready to do what they want him to do. And that's why, for me, like, I like the Niners. I thought they'd win that division, but I don't think they can go and win the Super Bowl or even get to the Super Bowl.
They got a tough schedule, too. You see their schedule coming up, too?
Woo. Yeah. I mean, you're going to have to play. Like, think of some of the teams in the NFC, the Vikings, the Saints, whoever, the Cowboys.
And you're also looking at home field advantages.
Sure.
Like, if I'm an Eagles fan, I'm saying to myself, like, come on, Niners, win this football game, because if Seattle wins, they get rolling, and then they get home field advantage. It's a whole hell of a lot easier to go play San Francisco in San Francisco than go up and play Seattle in a playoff game.
Sure. And you look at this division, I mean, all of a sudden, this division ain't wrapped up just yet.
Nope.
I mean, it's not even close. I mean, you gotta still play if you're the Niners. You gotta go to the Ravens. You gotta play the Packers still. You gotta go to New Orleans. Mm-hmm. You got the Rams again, and then you gotta go up to Seattle again. This could, Donnie, be an avalanche for the Niners, where they just
like, let's say Emmanuel Sanders, has that rib injury, or it turns out to be some structural. He's going to be out 2 to 3 weeks. That's not good, man.
And what's going to happen, Donnie, when eventually this run game, it kind of shows like these are young guys. They don't have like a bell cow.
And what's up with their glass running backs? Are they made of glass? Every time you'll have, if you watch a 49ers game start to finish, you'll have 17 updates on each one of the running backs who's in the medical tent. Can you not just be made of glass? I don't get it.
Yeah, I thought they looked at times. I thought they looked really bad. The offense. They're going to have to at some point. Like you said, Sanders could be out for an extended period of time.
Kittle, how do you know what he's doing, man? Dude was up in the press box. Good Lord.
That offensive line was horrible. Also.
Yeah, it's funny, too, because again, I preface this by saying I thought San Francisco was going to win the football game, but I did think that Seattle would score and like that a little bit more. Oh, you're getting back their 2 tackles. Seattle's front 4 beat the shit out of that offensive line.
I mean, look, I like Clowney. I don't think he's a player like what he's like. That's not.
He was awesome last night.
He's great. He's a great player, but that's not him every week. Like he's not.
What are you saying? He wants to get paid? This is a pay year for him?
No, I think he was just abusing a bad offensive line. Joe Staley looked 50 years old last night. He was getting destroyed.
And shout out, Jeff. Again, I like to spend this little 30 seconds here to shout out homage to the NFL, who put the Eagles on a bye but made sure New England had a bye. And we'll play New England this week. And you know who we get the next week, Jeff? Seattle Seahawks. And they're coming off of a bye.
I hate to tell you, if you would stop just being delusional for 1 second, it wouldn't matter if they were coming off a bye this week and the Patriots, whatever. It wouldn't matter.
Yes, it does.
No,
Yes,
it
it
doesn't.
does.
The Eagles are not good. They're not beating the Seahawks or the Patriots.
They're
Get
going to beat
over
them
it.
both.
Get over
We'll
yourself.
run this table.
Okay. I'll give you. We'll make a friendly wager, Donnie, that I think the Eagles lose by double digits.
All right, I'll take that.
But no, Clowney's what a road grader he is, man. It would have been nice to have him in Philadelphia, but hey, you don't want to give up.
Yo, first Jeff, like last night I told you, Marcus Smiths are hanging at the bottom of the first round. Don't you dare trade that number 1 pick for Clowney.
Sure. They'll pick the corner that happens to be injured, and
it was a fun game though. Yeah, like I gotta tell you though, it was a fun game to watch. So I enjoyed it. The primetime games have actually been pretty good, and I know you're starting to get on that Pittsburgh Steelers bandwagon. They got one on Thursday. Perfect hate the face type game. You know, you hate the Cleveland Browns. You want to see Pittsburgh going there and maul.
Yeah, I pretty much love the NFC North outside of the Browns and the Bengals. I love the 2 other teams, Ravens and Steelers. I love them.
That's good stuff, and football's always on the horizon. We'll talk
last night with Garoppolo, Donnie. He I think one of the reasons I said liabilities is because he did not he wasn't just overthrowing a receiver here and there. He was throwing passes that had no chance. And there was a play real quick early in the game. It was might have been the second or third pass. He just rockets the ball out of bounds. It's nowhere near the receiver. And I'm looking at it and I'm saying and that's why I made the comment about even though the ball, I don't care if the ball hit the guy in the hands. It's too high. You've got a 6'2" receiver. He can't get up that high to catch the football.
He should have made the catch, but that's so much. And we're not talking about
he was wide open.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yes. He had to thread the needle. What did you expect? Dude, lay a pillow out there and you end up winning the football game. Because when you look at a quarterback, it's not so much he's not making the passes, but he's not hurting his football team. That game was going to go into the half, Jeff, 10-0. And who would have thought anything in the second half that Seattle could do anything? And what does he do? Strip sack, fumble, touchdown the other way, and the game completely flips on its head. And then the second half, strips and fumbles and turnovers and interceptions. He killed him, man, last night.
You either trust a quarterback or you don't. Yeah. I didn't trust him at all. I had no reason to think he would take that team down and win a game. The fact that he got it down and tied it was crazy to me.
Yeah. How about even the last part of the game, Jeff, where they're trying to go down to kick the field goal? He threw 2 clear interceptions that were dropped. Man.
Yeah, they were just dropped. Yeah. Sure. Game should have been over a couple of different times.
Yep.
And he and that's what I want to say tweeted at Donnie. The Niners didn't deserve to win that game.
No, they did not.
They didn't deserve it. They didn't play well enough. Mm-hmm. Good for Seattle. I mean, that fumble recovery was huge. And keep in mind, Donnie, San Francisco got a gift on that when the tackle grabbed the football and San Francisco ran it back for a touchdown with Wilson. And that was a gift, too, for a touchdown. So, yeah, the game was
no, you're right. You're right. Yeah,
the game was
touchdowns.
Yeah, Jimmy did have happy feet. That's a great point. Yeah, I don't know what was up with him.
He had bad spots, bad calls, roughing the passer.
Yeah, the spot at the end, too, was really bad. I mean, really bad. How do you get that wrong?
I don't know. I don't again. I almost think sometimes, Jeff, you should have the crew on the field, but have 3 or 4 officials that are dimed into the head umpire that can just say and call it in saying, that spot's wrong. Just move it up about 3 feet. While they're running in and they do it, nobody would get mad at that and it would be the right call. Even on the punt return, Jeff, where it's almost cheating. He doesn't fair catch the ball when he should have. And a player times it perfectly, doesn't hit the guy in the head and gets a personal foul. Don't you think somebody watching the game, we all did at home, press their ear button hey, that's not a penalty. And they come together and be the penalty is waived off. And everybody's all right, that makes sense. Why can't they do that? I don't understand.
I don't know. And the constant planting of old refs into the broadcast. They'll be oh, these are great guys. They know what they're doing. It's shut up, Perry. We know you all want to blow these guys after the game because you're refs. Shut up, Perry.
You would never disrespect them. It's the same thing when the umpires in baseball, Jeff, they call New York, which are all umpires, be hey, Jim, what'd you have? I had him out. Looks like he's safe, but you know what? I'm going to stand by you here.
Yeah. It's finding a cop after a cop kills somebody, and what do you think? Well, he's
write this up. Write this up my way. You know what I mean? In what was the Denzel Washington movie? Just write it up. Just say you did it. You are a junkie. Day. No, not Training Day. The when he was Frank White.
American Gangster.
Yeah.
But yeah, one other thing with Perry, Donnie, like there was a running back that was like right on the goal line, like late in the game, and Perry's like, "Look at his elbow. That ball's 3 yards from the goal line." It's like,
first of all, I almost thought it was a touchdown when they stopped it. It was like at the 1 inch line, and they come back from like, not reviewing it, but put it at the 1. I'm like, what the hell is it? Like, why can't, hey, look, put that ball like an inch from the goal line. And nobody would get mad at that. Why aren't we doing this? We don't have to have an official review. Press the button. Hey, Dave, on the field, that ball should be at the 1/4 inch yard line. What's wrong with that?
I have no idea. But either way, an interesting game. I mean, Joe Tessitore acted like it was the greatest game in the history of games.
It was a masterpiece.
Yeah. That's what he called it a few different times.
What did Booger say on the strip on the goal line? Something like, if Seattle doesn't lose the ball, it wouldn't be 49ers ball at the 2. Yeah, awesome.
Best thing on the broadcast is when he goes like Seattle has to kick a field goal. I think they got to kick a field goal here. It's like 4th down. Like it's a tie game. No, Booger, they're going to go for it. Like
I agree with this here. Like, well, what? Yeah.
He just goes, I think they got to kick the field goal here. It's like, yeah, thanks, Booger. We know that. Thanks for telling us.
The Bulls.
Yeah, he says the ball was 3 yards short. They're inside the 1 yard line. Like,
dude, it literally it was.
What are you watching?
The question was actually, did he score a touchdown? Like that's how close it was.
Yeah,
he didn't come close. Stop it, man.
All right, Donnie, Maction tonight. Why don't you throw us a couple of lines here?
All right, let's see what we got here. Bringing up some Miggity Maction, 301, 302. Jeff, how about this? 6 o'clock start. You got to like that. Eastern Michigan, Akron. I want to get the weather conditions here. Let me just
27.
Ooh, look at this, Jeff.
Game
high
time,
at 23, 22, 21, 20.
Yep.
At Info-Schism Stadium. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying Eastern Michigan is favored by 17. It looks like way too much. But you do have to preference some things about Akron losing to UMass and try to get your head around it. Because theoretically, on the road, no MAC team should ever be laying 17 points, except for like, Woody and the boys back with Toledo a couple years ago, or Jordan Lynch back with NIU. And I'm going to say this, Jeff, to you. Are people still betting Akron out here? Because they're sharp every week, right?
Yeah, I mean, I see people taking Akron. I will say in this game, like, I'm not running to the window to bet Eastern Michigan, put it that way. I mean, especially in a game where you could have some snow squalls here that could create blizzard-like conditions. It could be a tough game. I mean, there could be some wetness in the ball, could be a little slippery out there. Eastern Michigan's not a good football team. Something tells me Akron covers tonight, just my thoughts, but will be a game I'm betting on. I mean, you have to remember, this is an Eastern Michigan team now you want to take as 4-point dogs or 6-point dogs, not a 17-point favorite. I don't care if they're playing you, me, and 9 listeners. I'm not betting it. If I had to bet it, I'd take Akron, but I won't be betting on Akron.
Here we go, Jeff. Second game we're going to talk about Ohio. How about this game? Kind of rare, 4-5, not really in the mix. Looking to pull out a victory here, lose to Miami, Ohio the week before, pull out a victory against Ball State. Not really the most talented Ohio team, even though I do like the quarterback. Nathan Rourke is a really good college football quarterback, especially in the MAC, but just haven't put it together yet. I got to tell you right now, it's going to be cold weather again. I'm going to lean on some of the talent on Western Michigan. I think Wasink is a really good quarterback. Bellamy is one of the best running backs in the country. Like, what was a MAC guy? Well, I mean, when you look at the statistics, and it's amazing that he's still around, Jeff. He seems like he's been there like 10 years. I just think the talent on their side in the cold weather will be able to win out in this football game. I'm going to buck the trend. I'm going to go Western Michigan.
Yeah, I'm going to buck the trend and go over the number. You're going to have 20, 21 degrees in this game. It's going to be cold, really cold. Yeah. Typical MAC game. But we've seen in this conference year after year that it doesn't matter. These teams know how to score, and both these teams know how to score. This is an Ohio team that's not been good defensively, really at all. Ohio's terrific at really everything defensively. And both these teams aren't good defensively, but I think we see a lot of points here. I think we see a lot of big runs. You mentioned some of the playmakers that Western Michigan have. Rourke and Donnie. One thing about Ohio that you have to like is they extend drives. I mean, I think they're top 10 in the country in third down conversion rate.
Because their quarterback can convert it by himself. That's big for Ohio.
And keep in mind, this Western Michigan team can't get off the field on third down. 102nd in the country in third down conversion rate. This is just what I hear is a lot of successful offenses here against defenses that can't stop it. This whole weather situation doesn't bother me a whole hell of a lot. I think we see plenty of plays in this game, and I think we see plenty of points here. I think this total at early 60s here, low 60s. I'm interested in the over.
There you go.
So yeah, I mean two MAC games that we kind of forget about,
and drastically different too, Jeff. You have one game that's a 17-point line with an over under 47, then you have basically a pick 'em at 63. So you can't get too crazier of games right off the bat on this one.
Yeah, I mean, one thing we can, I think, know about both these games, going to be cold. And it is cold. I got my heat on, Donnie. So
no, it's just flurrying outside over here.
Sure.
On the right side over here, huh?
Exactly. All right, Donnie, let's get into a couple of college games. Just kind of wet our whistle with some of these, get talking a little bit. It's a slow Tuesday here. I mean, there weren't a ton of headlines, Donnie. There weren't a ton going on. I mean, you got NFL, but we still are 6 days away. I guess you could always talk about it. You have some college, but you don't have the same intrigue because Alabama LSU's passed us. One thing I will say, and I want to make this very clear, you have rankings coming out tonight. Alabama should still be in the top 4. I'm not putting in Oklahoma, Georgia. I'm not putting Minnesota in. Give me a break. The top 4 should be Clemson, Alabama, LSU, Ohio State.
And I would like that. Can we just have that can we just cut it right? I don't even care what happens the next 3 weeks. Just put them in the playoff. Don't mess around with Oregon getting in or some cockamamie Oklahoma team again. Just put the best teams in. I don't care what the record is. Just give me the best teams.
I will say I wouldn't be against Oklahoma. They'd be the only team I'd have any interest in just because I know that they can move the football and they're exciting. But the Jalen Hurts intrigue is interesting against Alabama possibly. I'd much rather see them, Donnie, over like Georgia or Oregon.
Exactly. And especially you get the hate on both sides. Like when the Yankees make the playoffs or the World Series, you get the hate on. It makes it intriguing. Like people will be like, okay, Oregon's in here, but if Bama's in, you're watching it because you want to see him win or lose. It's fun.
Here's what I will say, and I'm generally vindicated when I say shit like this. You know who's going to be a mistake putting them in?
Who?
And I know they have a great coach and they've won a lot, but I think Clemson is like,
stop.
They don't play anybody, Donnie.
They don't lose. They eviscerate everybody and don't lose. They won last year.
Well, they don't eviscerate everybody, actually.
Yes, they do.
Well, who cares about that? I'd much rather see a team that can at least give you something that's exciting. Clemson doesn't do shit for me. They'll be in because they're undefeated, but they literally won't play anybody, man. Like I can't wait to see Clemson go to that and just fucking get destroyed.
No way. They don't do that, dude. Clemson steps to the bell, man. That team, that's a bellwether program. This team this year
is different. They're not as good as other teams. You'll see.
You give me Lawrence and ETN, and we're balling. By the way, can the Eagles draft ETN, Jeff? Is that possible?
Listen, Donnie, this team. Okay, you've played Georgia Tech, Texas A&M, Syracuse, Charlotte, UNC, Florida State, Louisville, Boston College, Wofford, and NC State. Give me a fucking break, man. I mean, seriously with this. What the fuck? I'd rather not see
Alabama before LSU, though. I mean,
but they've all played tough teams.
Now, if this was if they were like the Minnesota style type team, I would completely agree. But dude, they're defending national champions that haven't lost.
I don't care. What you seem to never understand. You don't understand this. It doesn't matter what happened last year.
Yeah, but they're eviscerating everybody. They got the number 1 pick in the draft whenever he's draft eligible. You got maybe the best back in the country on their team.
I'm just telling you what I think is going to happen. They're going to get to the college playoff and going to lose, and that's what will happen. You'll see, and then I'll be vindicated for it. We'll get to that point and see how it goes. Here's what I'll say: don't be surprised if Wake gives them a little game.
No.
Jamie Newman back.
You know, Jeff, I had the same. Some people had the same thoughts last year. How'd that Wake game turn out?
I have no idea. I can't.
They beat them like 56-3, and I covered them the last play of the game.
I don't even remember. Do you even watch college football? Should we even be talking to you about college football?
I know my college football, Jeff. Just watch my videos.
Well, maybe you do. I'm just saying. I mean, any serious person about college football can actually say that they're great, even
But
though
they blow everybody. They smash teams, though.
They
got to
played
play
the
in it.
45th best schedule in the country. That's not good enough.
Yeah, but what happens if they lost to all those opponents, though? They would have played like the top 20 schedule then, right?
I'm going to tell you right now, and I mean this. If Oregon runs the table and wins the Pac-12 title and lose one game by 3 points against Auburn in the second game of the season, I would rather see them in the playoff than Clemson State. They don't fucking play anybody, dude.
Nah, the boys down south roll those cockamamie teams up there, man. Come on. Leave them out. Let the Pac-12 have their own championship game in Palo Alto in front of 22,000 people that nobody cares about. Leave the national championship alone.
That's not how it works, dude. But okay. I mean, I'm just saying what my opinion. I'd much rather, like, most of my opinions, Donnie, come into fruition.
I know, but Oregon doesn't deserve. Unless Oregon's running the table in that Pac-12, just keep them out of the picture.
I'll tell you another team you better fucking worry about is that Baylor group. If Baylor beats Oklahoma this week, they could be in. I'm serious. Baylor's undefeated, dude.
I mean, they could play Oregon in the fallback game.
I would love to see Oregon. I don't care about Clemson. I don't care anymore about Clemson. I want to see something different. I want to see.
You don't want to see Dabo. Dabo was angry last week. That was one of my plays, Jeff. First half Clemson.
Cares?
Good Lord. What happened to NC State, by the way?
Oh, graduation happened. Jeez. All right. Go ahead, Donnie. What do we got?
3 games tonight, Jeff, on the ticket. And got to say, Jeff, I talked about it one total yesterday that had a bank 3 to send to the OT, but they all count as cash, right, on the Blue Hose. And VMI going to overtime and cashing that over 751, 752.
Anyone that tailed that, say yes in the chat. I'm going to go ahead and
please say yes.
None can. No one.
I'm just dropping knowledge on these small conference teams.
Yeah, imagine touting a game that won on a bank 3 from half court to go to overtime.
Because it cashes the same.
When Big Man on Campus gives out totals, they win by like 30.
No, they don't. It's usually you screaming saying this.
Both totals I gave out last night won by like 50 each.
And you would hashtag like yikes in there. Shooting 22% from 3. Yikes.
They both rolled.
Creighton, Michigan, Jeff, 56% on the Michigan Wolverines. How about this? Opens up at 4.5, now climbs to 5.5, and the over-under is the biggest mover here. Offshore, Jeff, Costa Rica International Sports, otherwise known as Chris, opened at 145, now sits at 154. A 9-point move? What's going on?
Yeah, this is a weird move. I don't understand this one at all. I would have put this number where it was, mid 140s. I think a lot of people realize that Michigan is not what they were under Beeline. Their pace is a lot better. They're using a lot more post-up stuff, which if I'm Creighton, I'm generally concerned about tonight. Creighton does not have much of a front court. They lost a lot of it last year to graduation. They're really a guard-oriented team. And I think that's where a lot of the scoring could come from this game. Teskey could have a big game. Him and Simpson could be a really nice matchup against Creighton here. Creighton, not ever a great defensive team. And I think the general thought of this game is that the pace is going to pick up considerably. But I still had the game in the 70s. I wasn't necessarily thinking we'd see a game, more towards an 80s and 70s. I thought maybe a 74-68 type of game, personally. But I think Teskey could have a big night here. This is one of the concerns I had for Creighton coming into the season was how are they going to play against guys with good bigs? Because that's just not really how they operate. They're a team that can score, though. This line to me, as I kind of looked deeper into it and thought about it, this line kind of makes sense. I think Michigan wins considerably easy here. The guards for, I think, Michigan or for Creighton are going to struggle against some of the Michigan guards and the defense they run. Teskey could have a big night, as I said.
How about this one? 8-19, 8-20. Memphis and Oregon. Neutral site, Jeff. Where are we at here tonight?
This game is in, let me think here.
LA? Where the hell is that at?
I don't know offhand. I know it's not in either home stadium here. I'll have to look.
It doesn't actually
what's the line? I'll get the location.
Line on the game here. 50. It's actually a 50-50 ticket split here. Opened up at -4 and is currently at -4. Opened up offshore 145.5 as a total. 148 at Chris, so a little bit higher, but it's hanging still in that 145 range between Memphis and Oregon tonight.
It's in Portland, by the way.
Okay, so home.
There you go. Basically, home game for the Ducks, right? I was going to say the Trailblazers for a second. Okay, Donnie, this is interesting. Okay, you have a Memphis team that if you listen to some of my breakdowns, I've talked about my concern for Memphis in the half court and running the point guard position.
Mm-hmm.
If you know anything about Oregon, Donnie, who's one guy you remember for Oregon? That
Bobo.
Outside of him, thinking more guards.
I'm thinking they had the Pritchard, the point guard.
Sure, Pritchard, terrific point
Bell.
guard, senior guy that can just
Mm-hmm.
shake you down and just he's going to take your cookies. That's what he does. I worry about them tonight at the guard position, Memphis. Some of this off the court stuff, Donnie. And the Ducks also get Francis Okuru back, 6'9", big. He was hit by a car, Donnie. missed the last game, but you're going to need him back tonight. For me, I always love what Dana Altman could do defensively, kind of that perimeter defense. I think if you can get Memphis out of transition, which a team like Oregon should be able to do on the road with a young team, I think they're going to struggle here tonight. I think Oregon is the play here. I would play them if I had to. This is a concerning spot if you're a Memphis fan, because Donnie, the other night, you're playing a complete nobody the other night. Wiseman is able to still just walk on the court and score. You've played UIC and South Carolina State. This is a big jump up. This is a glorified home game for Oregon. They're getting some of their starters back. Tough spot for a young team. Penny's going to really have – and Donnie, how does he handle this kind of game? He doesn't really ever play in games like this, Penny. He doesn't ever coach in games like this. So I would look towards the more senior-laden group.
Precious and the boys, Jeff, heading up there. Yeah, that should be a good game. So, we're going to get some of these intermittently sprinkled in throughout until we get some conference play action. How about this one, Jeff? Off the board game. Or I shouldn't say off the board. 307-289, 307-290. South Carolina State and Liberty. 69% of the tickets, Jeff, on South Carolina State. Line opened up at 18.5. Still sitting at 18.5. Over under in this one. 136.5 offshore. Now sitting at 136, 135.5 at some outlets in New Jersey. How about this one?
Yeah, I'm gonna actually look towards the under in this game. You said 130 what?
I got anywhere between 135.5 to 136.
Yeah, I'm gonna look more towards an under here. Starting out with Liberty, they've got a second straight opponent from the MEAC. They played Maryland Eastern Shore on Sunday, and the offense for Liberty hasn't looked real crisp, to be honest, Donnie. They've got the slowest tempo in the country. They're looking kind of wonky offensively. They were only able to put up 66 the other night against UMES. They struggled in the first game as well. I think they could push 65-70 here, but I think defensively they're elite. I think South Carolina State's going to struggle considerably to score the basketball. One thing about them, they're also a team that goes particularly slow. Through 2 games, they're only going at about 18 seconds of possession, which is pretty slow. The offense hasn't been good. I think this is a low-scoring game. Every time Liberty plays, you can almost bank on the fact, Donnie, that they're going to hold the team to 55 or 60. It's just what they do. I think this is like a 72-60, 72-57 type of game. I'm going to lean that this one goes under the number. It just seems like a low possession, low scoring game.
By the way, I'm taking a look at Liberty's schedule here, Jeff. Just with the projections, they're only projected to lose 1 game, and that's the LSU. That's pretty impressive.
Liberty, you mean?
Liberty, yeah.
Yeah, they're really good. Richie McKay's. They went to the tournament last year.
Yeah, no, I remember Caleb Holmesley. I remember Scotty James, Elijah Cuffey. Yeah,
they pretty much bring everybody back. So, they're a good basketball team. LSU should beat them, but yeah, I don't see a lot of losses on the schedule, to be real honest with you. Liberty is the best team in this conference by a pretty wide margin. I think they have some tough games. Grand Canyon will get healthy eventually, and
Vandy, at least the SEC team's stepping up a little bit.
Yeah, but no, I'll tell you this: it wouldn't surprise me if they have 1 win going into the Atlantic Sun tournament.
Yeah,
1 loss. Yeah,
352nd in the country, Jeff. How about that? Yeah, that's what they do, though. You're right. That was their stripes last year.
They're basically a mid-major Virginia. That's what they are. Exactly what they are. And if you know anything about their coach, Donnie, Richie McKay, he actually, I believe, coached under Tony Bennett. So it's no surprise that he's doing the same thing there.
Yeah. Yep. Agree.
So yeah, that's one I would definitely keep my eye on tonight. Oregon Memphis is at the Moda Center. It's a marquee game. They need the NBA arena. Pay these damn kids. Settle down, Willie. They do. They get a free fucking education, dude. They get free everything. Pay them. Come on, dude.
Yeah, I was good. Somebody on one of the guys we follow was going back and forth. Like, cause I don't think the concept doesn't, I guess, ring true where when you're 18 to 22-year-old, you're not supposed to be at the peak of your earning potential in college. And I think some people just misrepresent like what it actually means to be a college student, because the average college student goes away broke, loads up on debt, usually works a part-time job just to have some spending money or put some gas in their car to afford their books, and makes it out, gets a job, and then pays off their student debt.
Exactly.
Imagine going to school where you have the best of everything, $500 roughly cash a month, don't have to worry about a damn thing, and get treated like a king. Now, you don't get it. You got, when you were an 18-year-old, Jeff, if I told you now, like, hey, your mom and your dad at the beginning of the month are going to say, you know what, son? You have to pay for any food. You don't have to pay for your housing. You don't have to pay for anything. Everything's taken care of, and I'm going to give you $500 cash on the first of every month, just so you have a little bit of spending money for the month. And then the next month comes along, I'll give you $500 more. But I'm going to pay for your clothes and do all that stuff, stipend money on top of it. You got to be kidding me, man.
Yeah, it's always complaining about something, man. Yeah. It's crazy.
It is.
All right, Donnie, before we go, wanted to bring something up just from a channel perspective here. I just really want to kind of prepare people for what I'm going to be doing. I'm likely going to take this to some kind of content generating system. So we're putting out this show every day.
Mm-hmm.
We're putting out the NBA show every day. We're putting out college football shows. We're putting out college basketball shows. Guys, listen, I can't keep doing this for free. I can't. I'm taking 3, 4, 5 hours out of my day to bring free information to people, to do shows like this with Donnie, to take time out. And for me to continue to do that and to bring people on and to have shows dedicated to your questions, I can't keep – I mean, Donnie, I'm taking time out of my own life. Like, I can't see my girl at night because I got to do shows. Like, I can't – my family just moved in a new house. I can't go see the house because I got to do shows. Like, I can't continue to do this stuff for free. I just can't. And I don't think it should be expected of me. So I'm looking at some kind of Patreon, and who's going to be involved with that we'll kind of keep under wraps until, we decide that they want to announce that. But, I'm going to look to continue to add the guests that, like Donnie, I would love to keep having Joe Duffy on, but I can't. I told him I can't, I don't want to keep having him on for free. Like I want to pay him for what he can do for me, or Ski or whoever. And when you don't pay someone to do something, you don't necessarily get like Ski. I don't expect Ski to like take time out of his day to worry about what I'm doing, and there's a lot of, and you're right, I don't have to do shows. And if that's what it comes to, then I just won't do them anymore. So, I don't, I don't want to stop doing them, but, I can't keep doing it free, and that shouldn't be expected either. So, you agree with that, Donnie, right?
Yeah. Hey, it is what it is.
So that's going to be something we're going to start to talk about. So if that happens, and I'm sure a lot of people, we won't see you again, but that's just not really how it works. And if we do it, it's not going to be expensive. It might be, $20 a month, or something like that. That's not anything crazy, is it? So
no.
$20, something like that, where you're going to get an NBA show, you're going to get an NFL show, you're going to get college football, you're going to get. Donnie, I would go over every bowl game if you needed me to. Like I would, they're going to get the right content. So, all right, we're out of here. You all enjoy your day. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. We'll start to look ahead to the NFL season, or to the NFL week. Coming up, we get college as well. And we'll keep it up with the college basketball cards as well. You all have a great night. Thank you for watching. I got to go get a haircut, Donnie. Thank God. Yeah. Why don't you go back to SBR? Why don't you stop asking dumb questions? Because I want to be on my own. That's why. I'm not going to keep getting in these questions. I'm just going to go. Donnie, let's wrap it up. I don't want to say something I want to regret.
Yeah.
Have a great night. Bye-bye.